Hey guys, it's Kevin Young from Moonlight Mantids, and you're watching the Praying Mantis channel. Last week I asked you guys if you wanted to start a new series called From Ants to Adults. Based on your response, we decided to go through with it. That series contains a male and female ghost mantis, and we're going to cover that species extensively as they grow and develop. We're going to cover everything from feeding, housing, cleaning, maybe even breeding. Who knows? Before we get started, let's take a quick preview of what we're going to find in this new episode. Although this is technically a prequel, we're going to go back in time and take a look at Ed and Lorraine as L1 nymph, that means freshly hatched nymph, their first shed, and their first introduction. Until finally we have the L4 mantises that you know today. We'll also be looking at a new species, Hirudula majuscula, or the giant rainforest mantis, and see what you guys think. Maybe they'll join the series. When we first came up with the idea for this series, we asked what we should name both of those ghost mantids, and when I asked Rose, she said, "When I think of ghosts, I think of Ed and Lorraine Warren." Hence, Ed and Lorraine. I'll take a moment to mention that Phylocrania paradoxa, or the ghost mantis, comes from Africa, usually in arid regions and found around shrubs. Let's see if we can find any newly hatched nymph among the vegetation. As you can see, you may now realize why we call the series From Ants to Adults. They are very small and fast, and it's no coincidence that they're ant-like. Mimicry is a defense mechanism they use to avoid predation. Very tiny. They usually get scared, that's why they spend most of their time hiding. They're also really fast. If you try to mess with them at all, and that's why it's important not to handle them, they'll bolt or even jump straight off of surfaces onto the ground, and you may not find them again. Once they get moving, it's really hard to tell which way they went. They're really intimidating. It's best not to handle them. It takes me a while to try to get them back in with a paintbrush. They usually run for it, and they're very timid. Only 9 days after their hatch, they shed and become an L2. The L's I'm referring to stand for larval, otherwise they're known as instars. Instar is Latin for stage of life. Even though they've shed, they've lost none of their speed or their desire to hide. They're perfectly adapted to do so. Even though they've grown a little bit, they're still very timid, but as they grow, they will gain more confidence and become better pets. As an L1 or L2 nymph, they feed on melanogaster fruit flies or Hodii fruit flies, which are slightly larger. At this size, I do try to introduce them a little bit, as this is a species that is semi-communal. Lorraine is the one to the left, and Ed is the one to the right. So far, so good. They don't seem interested in attacking each other, although Lorraine is pretty focused on them. After a few seconds, they just start to groom themselves. They're not too worried about predation. I find the best part of keeping praying mantises is that every time they shed or grow, they change. It always keeps things interesting. It's commonly thought that insects are dirty animals. I find that's not the case. They clean themselves constantly, especially after meals. Fast forward to today, and you can see that our mantises have reached an L4 size, or larval stage 4. They're Their attitudes have changed a little bit with this increase in size. They're definitely way less timid, and definitely at this stage is a stage that I would recommend that you could start to hold your mantises. They're about ½ an inch each now, and they have about another 1.5 inches to grow. At this size, they've definitely graduated from eating small prey items like melanogaster and then hydei to eating larger prey items like crickets, mealworms, waxworms, and even small roaches. Let's take a moment to discuss Hierodula majuscula, the giant rainforest mantis. We wanted to know if you guys were interested in starting another series, From Ants to Adults, out of the rainforest. Rainforest as in the giant rainforest mantis. Let us know in the comments below. Well, it's been a really long day. I hope you guys learned a lot. Please make sure to like and subscribe and hit that bell icon for me. We're going to go ahead and continue this series with a part 2. Until then, leave your comments below. Thanks for watching. Bye.